Give me the argument, the best argument you know, for the power of cinema.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Peliculas with the Bros. My name is Adrian.
My name is Ivan.
And today's subject of discussion is the show, episode 1 specifically, Succession. We are finishing off the Adam Mckay miniseries with the pilot of Succession, the one he directed. He's also the executive producer on the show and probably a spiritual guide, you can say. But before we get to that, Ivan, welcome, everybody. Like I said, this is Peliculas with the Bros. It's a show, it's a podcast, it's whatever you want it to be. But me and my brother Ivan, we talk about movies, we talk about TV, we talk about music, and we talk about primarily culture, right? Excuse me for that. And we are going to continue that today with Succession. Ivan, let me send a couple shout outs to all of our listeners, all our subscribers. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. If you don't mind, hit that thumb up button or thumbs down if you don't like this. Thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed on YouTube. We're on YouTube, Peliculas with the Bros. Check us out there. We're also on all podcast platforms. Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio. Wherever you can get podcasts, we should be there. If we're not, leave us a comment and we'll try to remedy that. But let's get back on business, Ivan. Today, we're finishing off a great director's filmography run.
Mm-hmm.
A run that we've sort of seen a trend where we like most of his movies. And not even just like, we sort of love them, right?
Yeah.
And it's been an amazing process. It's been fun. But we'll end it off on a strong note. We'll probably revisit Adam Mckay when his new movie comes out and other new projects, but for now, we're laying him to rest like Undertaker when he laid to rest so many of his opponents, but in a loving way, you know?
Yeah.
In a way where we put our eyes to the back of our skull and we kiss him on the forehead instead of like just eyes to the back of the skull and kill him, something like that. Opinions on Undertaker, quick take.
He's old.
That's a good take. Ivan, the show that we're talking about today is Succession. It's going to feel good doing a show.
Hopefully.
The year is 2018. Adam Mckay he directs this episode the same year he put out Vice. So quite a combo here. The premise of the show, Succession. The Roy family controls one of the largest media corporations in the world, Waystar. This sounds impressive, but as we look into the day-to-day lives of the family who control the corporation, we see that they are as broken as America itself. With the cast of Brian Cox as Logan Roy, the head of the family, the father of the family.
The patriarch.
The patriarch. I think he is the prime example of the word patriarch.
Yeah.
He's such a menacing character in this show. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's funny though that I only know Brian Cox before this as the bad guy in X-Men: The Last Stand.
Yeah.
What was his name in that?
Stryker.
What a career.
Yeah.
It's so demoralizing for him to hear that. I only know him from that and this. But let me just say that even though I don't know much of your filmography and your acting career,
Respect.
Brian Cox, you did good. Kendall Roy, that's another character in this show. He is played by Jeremy Strong, a Peliculas with the Bros alum. We saw him in The Big Short.
Yeah.
Not too long ago. Kieran Culkin, Ivan, as Romulus Roy, to say it in the long way,
Yeah.
as his father would say, Romulus. Where do you know Kieran Culkin from?
from his brother, Macaulay Culkin.
Wow, Ivan. You did some deep researching for that one.
Yeah.
There was a moment where I knew Macaulay had a brother. I didn't know.
Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, I didn't know the other annoying kid in Home Alone was Kieran the whole time.
I don't remember. Oh, like one of the brothers?
No, he was the one he was his cousin, and he was always drinking soda, and always smiling and snickering. Like he kept playing that role to the day of 2021.
Probably somewhat how he is, but he just like plays it up.
I love his character. I do think there's more to explore with his arc. We'll get into that in a bit. And then we have Sarah Snook as Siobhan Roy. Also, another I've never knew about Sarah Snook before. Have you?
Mm-mm.
She's perfectly cast as this. You would think since she's a woman, she's like the nice one in the family.
Careful.
But she's just as vicious she's way more vicious than her other brothers.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a bit too. Nicholas Braun as Gregory Hirsch.
Cousin Greg.
Cousin Greg. I love him.
Yeah.
I love him. He's Scooby, basically,
Yeah.
but a little smarter. Matthew McFadden as Thomas Wambsgans.
Great.
I love Tom. I love me some Tom. The block of head that he has on his shoulders.
Tom and Greg.
Tom and Greg.
Brothers in Arms.
Are you ready for a spin-off, Tom and Greg?
Tom and Greg Power Hour. I'd watch it.
They should make a podcast in character about how to succeed in business. 30 minutes long.
Yeah. That'd be good. That would be good promo. Just leading up to it. The Tom and Greg podcast.
Yep.
Couple weeks. Easy.
Or maybe some infomercials. Come join Waystar. Greg's great. Tom's great. Oh, I love him. Peter Friedman as Frank Vernon, the COO of Waystar, in this episode at least. He's a more reserved character, but he's good for the plot.
Yep.
We have, I'm going to have a hard time pronouncing this, Hiam Abbas as Marcia Roy. She's the third wife of Logan Roy.
Yeah.
She gives me such a creepy vibe.
She's calm.
Too calm.
Yeah.
Those stoic people, they creep me out, you know?
Like, what's his name? Dick Cheney?
Yeah. She has a Dick Cheney vibe. So weird.
Conniving. Planning.
One of my favorite characters, Alan Ruck as Connor Roy,
Yeah.
the eldest son of Logan Roy.
An alumni, too, eh?
An alumni in the
Way
finest
back.
fashion.
Way back.
Way back to Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Indeed.
Alan Ruck playing Connor Roy. I can't say enough good things about how good Alan Ruck is in this.
Yeah.
Playing the aloof brother. What's that word that I'm thinking about where you're sort of
Absent-minded?
not absent-minded, but you think you can do anything when you don't have any of the tools.
Confident?
Ignorance?
Yeah.
No, it's not ignorance. It's another word. We'll talk more about these characters as we continue. A couple last shout-outs. Rob Yang as Lawrence He. He's the founder of the media website Volter. That's going to be important in the plot. Aryan Moyed as Stewie Hosseini. He's the Iranian-American financier. He's Kendall's best friend, helps him basically fund the company.
Okay.
Do you remember that?
Nope.
He's the friend that goes out and Kendall's like, we're in debt. We need money. How about you pay the you finance
He
us.
wasn't in the first episode, was he?
Yeah. Oh, he wasn't?
No, he's like slick back.
Oh,
kinda-
yeah, you're right. Sorry. Excuse me. You're right.
What the?
Sorry, I'm adding too many people. And last person, Jerry Kelman. It's another character. She's played by J. Smith Cameron. She is basically... She's... Right here it says General Counsel to Waystar.
I don't think she's in the first episode.
She is.
I don't remember.
She is. She has to be. Another important person in the plot, and she's more involved in the next season as well. Let's talk about the show, Ivan. This show was written by a man named Jesse Armstrong. Do you know anything about this man?
Mm-mm.
Good. Let me educate you.
Mm-hmm.
He's a writer, British writer.
Mm.
In 2005, he co-created a popular British comedy called Peep Show. It ran for about 13 years or 10 years at least. Another show he created in Britain was called Fresh Meat. These are two semi-popular shows over there. He co-wrote The Thick of It. It's a satire on British government. And in 2009, he also co-wrote a film that was critically acclaimed called In the Loop. This is important, though, because it sort of ties in into what McKay is going for. Because this film, In the Loop, is a satire on Anglo-American policies. Anglo-American is just like British and America and all the English-speaking languages, countries. So it's a satire on that. The film was nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay at the Oscars. So this guy's getting recognition. In 2012, Jesse Armstrong starts to write a screenplay for a movie based on the Murdoch family.
Okay.
The Murdoch family is basically the family that owns Fox News and many other things. 21st Century Fox, not anymore because Disney bought it, blah, blah, blah. Shout out to Disney. Thank you for saving us. But the script that he wrote for the movie, it doesn't get picked up. So he's like, maybe I should revise it. He revises it for TV. That way it can delve deeper into the more intricate storylines. There's more to explore in this dense sort of world of Wall Street, business, politics, families that own big corporations. He sees like a larger thing going on, right?
Right.
It's not until 2016, so like 4 years later, that the script for the show Succession gets picked up by HBO.
Okay.
So there's a 4-year gap where this is sort of like on the sidelines. Maybe there's some times where he's not like intensively working on it.
Yeah.
But it's sort of interesting to think of that arc of a writer that is working on something for so long and it takes that long to hit.
Right.
And not even hit, because it's like it just got picked up.
Yeah.
It's picked up for a pilot.
Yeah.
Pilots could be canceled.
Yeah.
It's a cutthroat world, the TV and movie industry, isn't it?
Yeah.
You make something, you toss it in the bucket, you hope someone grabs it, and even if they grab it, that doesn't mean anything.
Yes.
So weird. Anyways, HBO picks it up. It's backed by Gary Sanchez Productions. Do you know what that is?
Ooh. Adam McKay's production company.
Yes. Specifically, it's Adam Mckay and Will Ferrell's production company. And that's important to note, and we'll talk about that later on in the podcast. But they pick it up. So we have this show.
You know what I want to see in season 3? Will Ferrell, like, as something, but like serious. No jokes.
Let's talk about that then.
Okay.
You're getting a little...
Sorry if I want to discuss about this show.
You're excited. You're jumping... You're, what is it? Biting on the bit? Jumping the shark? There's many analogies that I'm trying to use.
On the bit?
Chomping on the bit and jumping the shark. How about that?
Biting the shark?
Let's take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back. Right when you wanted to talk, you're like, I was so excited. We'll be right back. Ivan, when did you first watch Succession?
I think season 2 just ended, and then I heard it was good. I was like, I gotta watch something that's good.
I don't remember when I watched it. It must have been after the first season, but I don't think I waited till season 2 ended.
I didn't wait for it to end. I was just
That's when you heard about it?
yeah.
Is this the type of show you usually would look at? A business oriented is it business? What's the right word to say it? How do you describe like this? What's the setting?
Corporate America.
Corporate America, yeah.
Yes and no, because I don't really watch shows based on what it's about, more like the genre. And I heard it was like a comedy drama, but it was like high level sort of stuff.
Right.
Like, I gotta watch that.
The comedy, is it drama comedy or comedy drama?
Drama, comedy, dramedy, a comma. Dramedy.
Dramedy?
Dramedy.
I think one of the things that it's obvious, McKay's been doing this the past couple of projects he's worked on, drama with comedy, right? But this is very different from The Big Short. This is very different from Vice, where it's clearly not adding comedic purposes or like not lyrics, dialogue scenes, verses. He's not adding these things to make it funnier. I think it's more so the comedy's derived solely from the actions that happen on the camera.
It's a funny situation.
Is it funny situations? It's funny things that happen from
comical scenes. No. I know what you mean, but I don't know.
Like out of conflict, there's drama. Out of drama, there's gonna be comedy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like life. Like if we were to talk about someone that got ran over on the street, we would find something funny about it sometimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not if it's a loved one, but
right.
I think that's the same kind of through line in this show where they don't add one-liners for no reason. It's just the only one-liner would be from a character just trying to be funny, but not inherent. It's not. They're not forcing it down our gullet, which I think is good. I don't want to watch The Office, right?
How dare you?
Because The Office is that. There's some drama in it, but it's mainly comedy. Because they're trying to be funny.
But they're just like characters who are funny. Like, but they're not. Only Steve Carell in the show is like actually trying to be funny. Everyone else is like who they are, and then they end up being funny. Because Steve Carell, he's like, he does, what was it, the Yo Mama jokes? No, he says something. But he purposely tries to be the funniest person. But like nobody laughs at him. And that's funny. But like Jim, he's just looks at the camera, not for comedic purposes, but just because it's like, what the heck is going on?
Right.
And then we laugh at that.
Right.
But he's not trying to make people laugh.
Right. So there's one character that is really pushing the comedy in The Office, but in this show, there's no character pushing the comedy. There's characters like Roman, who are very funny, but they're also messed up in the head, and that's where the comedy comes from.
Yeah.
The character isn't. You could say he's trying to be funny, but at the same time, that's who he is.
He's trying to be funny, but it's like kind of gross humor. But it's funny to us that he would find that funny.
Right.
But what he says isn't exactly funny.
Right. He's not a comedic force, but he just has a comedic tone because of who his character has, his traits. I've watched. I'm rewatching it right now because I'm getting ready for season 3. This is my third time rewatching it. I love the show. I think one of the reasons I really love it now after rewatching it is because, like our Big Daddy, Mad Men.
Okay.
I don't know why I called it Big Daddy,
Me
but
neither.
I just did. Like our Big Daddy, there's layers.
Yeah.
There's things I miss.
Uh-huh.
There's things if you pay attention, you'll get. Especially the way, and I'm just thinking about this now, that the way it's shot, where it's
Pristine.
is it pristine?
I think so. Like it feels like high end, like really nice.
The setting is pristine,
Yeah.
but the way it's shot, where the camera moves with the characters, it's almost like a documentary style, like following the characters around in a day-to-day life.
Yeah.
I feel like it's catching moments that you usually wouldn't see if the camera would cut away quick. But there's moments where the camera sticks on a person's face. I'm thinking specifically of Tom when he's getting like pushed around by Siobhan, where you can see he's thinking deceit in his eyes,
Yeah.
in his face. And I think that the camera style helps a lot in that regard. But yeah, there's a lot of little things that I'm noticing now more than ever after watching it for the third time. Have you rewatched it? Or have you only gone once all the
I've
way through?
rewatched it twice, not 3 times.
And the third season is coming up when? I think in the next month or two.
I don't know.
It was supposed to come out last year, but it got pushed back because of the big bad COVID.
Yeah.
Another thing I like about the show is that, like you said, the setting is prestigious. It's
Rich.
not even the rich, it's the wealthy
Yeah.
of America.
Yeah.
Only white people in the show, baby. And
Yeah.
the setting, even though it's the rich people, the wealthy people of America, of New York, the wealthiest of the wealthy, the inner workings is the most hideous of hideous things you would ever see. The contrast between where they're working, where they're living, to what they're dealing with mentally, psychologically, is so nasty. And I think that's like the yin yang of that is where the show's like singing, because like you would expect, I'm rich, I'm wealthy, I have a great life,
Yeah.
but tell
Well,
that to Kendall.
Yeah. They're all messed up in their own way.
And who's to blame? Big Daddy Logan.
2 big daddies in this show.
I found a way to squeeze it in. This show is, like McKay's previous work, is deeply rooted in improv.
Really?
Yeah, so I think like things get blown out of proportion when you say like improv, and they're like, oh, the whole show must be improv. But I think it's worth mentioning that the show has improv because I really think that's a great way to enhance art, where you give other artists freedom to just be
Improvise.
creative, you know?
Yeah.
I think it goes without saying where like other pieces of art, whether it be music, whatever, if you get other artists on your art, let them be creative as well.
Yes.
And giving that to the actors helps a lot. I was listening to McKay talk about telling the actors, hey, let's try to improv some of these things. Like go with the script for the first take, but after we'll go off the script. And some of them like it, some of them don't. I think he mentioned a specific scene with Logan Roy's character, where he told him, okay, let's improv. And he specifically said, I'm not going to improv. Like, I do not want to improv.
Yeah.
But when they had the cameras rolling, he did it.
It was probably like an insecurity sort of thing. Like if you've never done it, and He looks like one of those classical actors.
Yeah.
Actors.
Right.
So when you get to improv, you're like, kind of like, I can't. But when you're in character and in the scene, you probably think of something on the fly. And you can a little bit.
Yeah. And I would imagine back in the day, it was a big taboo to improv.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where I think McKay is coming from a newer school and also a different school of comedy where I'm this comedic guy coming into the dramatic world. In comedy, we improv a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a little skill that maybe it's an extra advantage that he has over, I guess, a Quentin Tarantino maybe, or someone who follows the script more. Maybe Tarantino's a bad example, but
Yeah.
a director who follows the script more. Let's see here. What else can we talk about? Let's talk about the episode. The actual episode.
Right.
The theme of the episode, and you could probably say this about the entire show, but the theme of this particular episode is how the dynamic movement of power in this family,
Mm-hmm.
in the Roy family. Because we have people trying to gain power, people losing power, people searching for power. It's this thing that's like an aura.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's chasing it. It's invisible. They know who has it. They don't know how to grab it, but they sort of do, but they're too scared to grab it. And it's disgusting to watch, but it's fun to watch. That Logan Roy character is so heinous.
He's a tactical genius.
Yes. Do you think, because I'm sure his mindset, the character's mindset is, you need to be this way to survive in this world. Times are changing in front of him. People are telling him to change up. You shouldn't be so cold-hearted. The Logan Roy character, do you think that's a true-to-life thing? Where you have to be this vicious, conniving guy?
Yes. I mean, I don't think he would have got to where he got without that. But I think he also has to change. I mean, I don't know how the seasons are going to play out, but I'm sure it's going to bite him in the butt with how he's treated the business and the family.
Uh-huh.
Just because, like...
Well, it's been by them.
Spoilers.
Okay, I see what you're doing. Wink.
But, like, you got to be able to be fluid with that. Like, I think in his mindset, it's like this is how it's always been, and it wouldn't change because it's worked, right? But you won't know. You can't know a different world until it happens. Like,
or you try it.
Yeah. But if, like, it's always worked, why would he change, right? But if, like, there's a better way, like, you won't know there's a better way until it's actually done or it's tried. So, like, to him, it's the only way.
Yeah. And he's definitely set in his ways.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want to admit that he's wrong ever, which is already... And if you've won so much, it's hard to ever say, yeah, I'm wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I think in the first episode, he was kind of right, but he's still, like, super cruel for no reason and, like, manipulative. Like, I don't think Kendall was ready at all. Roman, he's just a little too much of a wild card and crazy.
To take over the company?
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's, like, a smart guy.
Uh-huh.
And then Shiv, I think she's, like, the best out of them, but at the first episode, they don't really go into her too much.
Right.
Just that she kind of wants power. But, yeah, I don't know.
One of the big plots in the first episode is that Kendall thinks he's about to level up. He's
Mhm.
about to go to CEO, and his dad's gonna retire.
Yeah.
But that gets flipped on its head when Logan's like, "No, I'm not gonna retire," on his birthday party,
Yeah.
and that sort of goes. That plot carries throughout the whole show.
Mm-hmm.
But the moment where Kendall realizes his dad isn't gonna step down,
Mm-hmm.
and they have a confrontation, that scene is so. It's so bad, but it's so good.
Yeah.
So there's this confrontation where Kendall goes up to his dad and he's like, "How can you do this to me? I was going to be CEO. You're going to retire. You're already getting old. I think it's time. Like, this is a perfect time." And his dad's like, "No, I want to keep going." And Kendall lays out every reason why he should be there, why he should be the top. And his dad's like, "No,
Not ready.
you're not ready." And then he's like, you can see Kendall, he makes a fist, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sort of holding in his aggression. And his dad's like, "Oh, you're going to punch me? Punch me."
Mm-hmm.
Scaredy cat. He's like just pushing him to the limits.
Mm-hmm.
And you would think
Tough love.
tough love, man. That sure, it's your boss, but at the end of the day, that's your dad.
Yeah. But in Logan's mind, I think if he punched him, he would have been so proud. He would have been like, "You're ready now."
Well, oh man, that's like the thing about that's like the thing that they search throughout the every season.
Mm-hmm. Getting Kendall to that point of like being ready.
And is that what it takes for your dad to love you, to be betrayed by your son? Does Logan ultimately want his son to betray him, to take power?
I mean, I think optimally, he would want him to, like in the first episode, he would have given him the power if he was ready. But he noticed he wasn't, so he's like, he keeps testing him. Like earlier when he had him sign that trust to flip the power, and then later he's like, "Oh, you signed that without getting lawyers. That showed me you weren't ready." And then Kendall's like, "You told me to do it. I trusted you as my dad that you wouldn't screw me." And it's just like, Jesus.
Yeah.
And Logan's right. He should have got lawyered, but he was too scared to test him and like flex his own strength and get lawyers. But if he got the lawyers, then maybe he would have been CEO. But it's like, it's such a hard position to make that choice, I guess.
God, it's truly disgusting. Another plot that runs throughout the story is Kendall trying to buy Volter, the media company. That's important because it's an important plot point where Kendall's trying to prove that he's ready.
Yeah.
Not just by getting transitioned to SEO, but by making this deal that's big for the company that supposedly in his eyes is going to revolutionize how Waystar is running its future and all that. And he's like, "Oh, this is going to be an easy sort of agreement where I'm giving you money to this the guy played by Rob Yang, Lawrence He. He's the founder of website Volter. He's like, it's going to be easy transaction. We're going to buy this. You're going to be happy. But the guy doesn't make it easy. And it's sort of the theme, another underlying theme that runs throughout the show, that Kendall can never win.
Yeah.
It's never easy for this man.
He doesn't have the skill. He doesn't, because he like treats him horribly, like the buyer, or no, the seller, I guess, of the website. Like he just doesn't know how to like relate to him, like to sell correctly. And it's just like whenever they interact, it's like the worst conversation ever. He's like, they're like awkward with each other because they're just like on different wavelengths.
Kendall's like that, right? Like he's very robotic in a way.
Yeah.
More so in the second season. But even when he has like human interactions, he's very like, "Sup, bro? Like this is cool, right? Yeah. Whoo!" Like very one-liner things.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the thing that he's missing, because what his dad, the opposite, his dad's not really like, he's just cutthroat.
Mm-hmm.
He'll say, fuck you, I'm buying your company. There's nothing you can do about it.
Right.
Where Kendall's like, we got this, bro. Woo.
Yeah.
Good deal. And that's, I guess, not good for business. You need
Yep.
someone that's just going to slap you and like, take my money or else I'll kill you.
Yep.
So weird. Another thing, I was confused about this whole Vulture situation when I first watched the show, like the very first time I watched it. And then after rewatching it multiple times, now I understand like the concept behind him trying to purchase it and who they were. But it's something that TV can do, right? Where it's like they just throw this random thing at you and they're like, all you need to know is that he's trying to buy this and that it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But they expand on it later as you go throughout the storyline, and it's something unique that you can't get in movies.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Another great plot point is the introduction of our boy Greg, the cousin Greg.
Greg the
He's coming in hot. He's
the viewer. He's who I am. He's who you are.
Is he?
Sadly,
Explain.
because he's poor. He's not of wealth, and he has to go into this crazy people's life and adapt to it.
Right.
And I mean, they show it way better when he like gets later he gets like his first paycheck and it's like $1 million or something stupid, and just he gets like a high-rise apartment and everything, and he's just like kind of relatable, but in a way I don't like, you know.
Yeah. He's the grandson of Ewan Roy, Logan Roy's brother, and he's the grandnephew of Logan Roy. Basically, when we're introduced to him in the show, he's working at a amusement park owned by Waystar. He doesn't want to work there anymore. He's sort of bumming it. He doesn't want to bum it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Calls his mom, hook me up with a job with Waystar at their offices. She's like, just go to the office and meet Logan. He meets Logan and all that. He's such a great character because, like you said, he's basically the viewer.
Mm-hmm.
He's the most relatable one because he's coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then another great part about Greg is that he's probably 50% of a character because the other 50% is Tom.
Mm-hmm.
They're the yin and yang that make, to me, the funniest parts of the show.
Yeah.
And Tom, I love that he picks on Greg so hard. He's a bully that I never would think is a bully.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it's just so weird that it works, but it works.
Yeah.
I love the scene when he's like, if I told you to kiss me, would you kiss me?
Yeah. And he's like thinking like, what?
Yeah.
Like it's the power struggle
Yep.
in like the smallest form. But
Exactly.
it's so
Yeah.
funny.
Like compared to Logan Roy versus Kendall Roy,
Mm-hmm.
father and son trying to struggle for power, that struggle for power is like so minute,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still just as good too at times.
Yeah.
That's a good observation. Another plot point is Logan wanting to give ownership rights if he passes away to his wife, Marcia. It's another example of moving power around the family. No one wants that except for Logan and Marcia.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sort of a great way to sort of spark the flame of, even though it's only they're only in it for a bit, but the flame between the siblings.
Yeah.
Where you see the power dynamics between Kendall, Siobhan, and Roman,
Mm-hmm.
and even Connor, where they're discussing, should we sign this paper that would make her the owner if he passes away?
Mm-hmm.
And they all have like different interests. Like Connor's like, oh, I'll go whatever you guys say.
Yeah.
He's such a dumbass, but I love him.
He wants to win, but he doesn't want to do the work.
Yeah.
And like he just picks the winning side. Well, what looks like the winning side.
Whatever's the least amount of friction.
Yeah.
And this sibling rivalry gets explored way more in the other episodes, but it's great to see it ignited here in this first
Yeah.
episode. And another great scene, sorry, not scene, but subplot is just the fact that Logan is in declining health.
So first scene, he pees in the corner.
Yep.
Like dementia or something.
What is he suffering from?
Old.
A case of old.
And it's fatal.
It's fatal.
Well, he's 80.
He's 80
That's super old.
and unhealthy
Yeah.
and living a stressful life.
Yeah.
I love how the show starts with showing how sort of decrepit Logan is, and it ends with Logan suffering a stroke, basically.
Yeah.
It's a good way to bookend the show. And what starts, or what sort of triggers the stroke, is the conversation he's having with his kids, with Siobhan and Roman, where they don't want to sign the papers to give Marcia power.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I guess it's an important jumping off point for the rest of the season. I don't know if I want to ask you for this episode or for the show in its entirety, but let's just go for the show for shits and giggles. Who's your favorite character?
I think Tom. Like whenever he's on the screen, I'm like,
Yeah.
you suck. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Tom.
His subplot, not only with Greg, is good,
Mhm.
but the subplot with him and Siobhan is, to me, rewatching the second season right now, is the one that's hitting me the hardest. Where it's so disgusting how Siobhan treats him.
Mhm.
And it makes you root for Tom. But you also hate him because he's dumb.
Yeah.
It's a character I love. I agree with you. He's my favorite character.
Mhm.
But what's your favorite plot?
Like plot point?
Yeah, throughout. Like, what's the thing that you're most intrigued to
like,
find out?
Okay. What Kendall, how he's going to end up. Because I feel like it's 50-50 whether he, like, makes it to, like, Logan's status of being top patriarch sort of thing.
Uh-huh.
Or he just crashes and burns and takes everything down.
Yep.
But, like, no spoilers, but by the end of, like, the second season, I'm like, this guy, he has something in his heart now.
Yeah.
He got the flames.
Yeah.
In him. Yeah.
You, like, in the end of the first season, his flame was roaring, and then it got dwindled down to a matchstick. And so the second season starts with a matchstick, and now it's roaring, but it's taken the entire forest with it.
Yeah.
And will it destroy the world in season 3?
Could.
Will it dwindle down, and will the biggest waterfall ever come down? That is Logan Roy. That could happen too.
Hope it lasts like 6 seasons.
Damn, 6 seasons. I think 4 is the cutoff for like.
At least 4. At least 4.
Yeah.
Hopefully 6, because I mean, there's a lot of plot points. Like what happens to Roman? Like he has to have something. Siobhan or Shiv, like what? Like all of them. Like you want to see how it ends for each of them. And Mad Men, like the same thing happened. Like each character, you want to see how it ends.
Yeah.
And it took 6 seasons or 7 seasons to do that. So we'll see.
Could you argue that there's fat to trim from Mad Men?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a complete opposite reaction. Those two.
No. Yeah. I mean, I liked every bit of Mad Men. I don't think it went on too long. I think it was the perfect.
We follow an Instagram handle called Mad Men Quotes or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And today I was looking at it and I was like, that scene did not happen. So I had to look it up and I was like, damn, that actually happened. And it was a scene where Peggy wants to go to Paris for like a job
Yeah.
that they're doing, and Don's like, no, you can't go. She's like, but I want to go. And he takes out his wallet, takes out some money, and he's like, you want to go to Paris? And throws the money at her face. Go to Paris then. I'm like, damn, I do not remember that. That's so bad.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to watch Mad Men again. If I don't remember that, there's much more I need to watch.
Yeah.
Okay, continuing on with this show. What? A little too early, obviously. Where does it sit on your favorite shows of all time?
If it continues this, like, I'm gonna assume there's 6 seasons out, and that's the finale was as good as Mad Men was, or however, it just lives up to it.
Yep.
What I think it can do. I'm gonna say definitely top 5. I'd say like right behind Mad Men if it goes the distance. Just because like Mad Men has like that like that potency of nostalgia.
Yeah.
Of like you can't beat the classic, the one that did it first, even though it didn't do it first. But because it's just exactly what I wanted out of the show, Mad Men, and this too.
I think, oh man, you're definitely right that for some reason the formula of Mad Men works a lot better for me than Succession. Maybe not a lot better, but better. I do think there's levels to hit for Succession that it can hit. Whether it will continue on this upward trajectory, because I think season 2 is much better than season 1.
Yeah.
Whether it can do that, I don't know. But so far, it is in my top 5 shows of all time. I'm excited to see where it goes. What would you rank? What would you rate the first episode?
You know, it's kind of like a standalone movie on its own. It establishes like everything, and by the end, you know what everyone's trying to do, and it has like a good end, even though you want to see what happens next. But it's good.
Yeah,
Give
I
it
agree.
like a 9.
I'll give it an 8.
You're trash.
I give the season a 9 though. I give the
Okay.
first season a 9.
All right. It's just hard to rate an episode,
It is. It's like not even.
and we know like the rest of the 20 episodes,
Yeah.
so you can't really put in a bubble.
So this ends McKay's. This is the
Reign.
last thing McKay's involved in so far. Let's do a little retro on McKay. From Anchorman to Vice, transitioning to producing even more now.
Mm-hmm.
What's your take after this whole time? What have you taken away? What have you learned?
I think he's the best at what he's trying to do. Whereas like Quentin Tarantino or Scorsese, they're the best at what they're trying to do. But if they try to swap genres, they wouldn't be the best at trying to do what they're trying to do, you know? Like if Scorsese,
Kinda.
if Quentin really wanted to do like this, like a straight comedy, like an Anchorman, I'm sure it would be funny, but I don't think he could do it like, what's his face? Adam Mckay
Uh-huh.
or Scorsese, or especially Scorsese. I don't think he could do
Right,
comedy
he
like
can't.
him. But they're still really good. But I think Adam's.
So
up
you're
there.
saying he's the best comedic dramedy director? Or because
Yeah.
I think the best action comedy director. It's hard because
His,
if you look at Tarantino's work, a lot of his work is comedic too.
yeah, I'd say it's dramedy, like 80% drama, 20% comedy.
Right.
I Adam, I mean, he transitioned so much, but Succession is like 60% drama, 40% comedy.
Right.
But I don't like Quentin's never been that deep into comedy, you know?
Because he's so interested in. He's not just solely interested in comedy.
Yeah.
He's more interested in like the action.
Like saying cool things.
Yeah. The dialogue.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed by McKay. It's sort of crazy, especially after watching his last two films, where I haven't even watched it before, and now after watching, I'm like, okay, I have a lot of respect for him, what he's trying to do, and I'm excited to see his next film, and I have a lot of hopes for his continued evolution into, like, learning. He's learning a lot of drama stuff now.
So I feel like he's still early in his career, like 1/3.
Yep.
And I mean, I like Vice, but it wasn't like this. He did it again. He did it again. It was good, but not like another hit. So like, I just get worried, like little signs of slipping, and that could be it. Like maybe this 1/3 is his best.
Right.
And then the next 2/3 are Garbaggio.
Right. I do also think that he's very well equipped to win in the future because it's not unlike how Instagram and TikTok are winning now, where what's real is what's winning now and what's going to continue to win in the foreseeable future, right? And his work leans to like something that's more real because he's adding comedy to dramas where dramas wouldn't have comedy before. And I think that's true to life, because I think anyone can say there's times in life where things are super serious and all of a sudden someone farts and you laugh. We're in a prestigious film about the Queen of England. You would never hear someone fart.
Yeah.
But he would, that's a stupid example, obviously, but he would do something like that, right? Where he would have like a butler farting in the background. Because that's something that's actually real. That's comedy. That's life. So I think he's well equipped to make movies that are going to stick with the culture.
I think just in real life, everything's kind of funny, like from a certain perspective. Maybe not like, well, even I was going to say not the trash weather or small talk, but from a perspective that's funny in its own way, because it's like so boringly unfunny that it goes back to being funny.
Right.
And that's just all of life. So I think, if anything, Adam's just trying to show us his theory or his view on life, which is like laugh at everything.
Yep.
And he just does that with his movies.
Yep.
That's it.
He's so his next projects, it's interesting because I'm learning that he actually has like, okay, so sorry, let me take a step back. Gary Sanchez Productions, right? Started with Will Ferrell and some other people. He's not part of that anymore. I think they're shutting that production studio down, or production company down, and he made his own company called
Future Show?
No. Hyper Object, I think.
Okay.
So he's doing his own thing. I think he's technically signed under HBO to make TV stuff. I don't know about film, how that works. Obviously, he's making a movie for Netflix, but it's interesting because he delved a lot into podcasts recently.
Really?
He made a couple podcasts. One I listened to, it's a basketball podcast.
Okay.
But it's more story-based, talking about like the 1980s and how drugs affected some of the players in that time. He made one on Jeffrey Epstein, whatever, podcast about that. So he's definitely interested in multimedia stuff, not just movies and TV.
Okay.
So that's interesting. I am super excited. not so much for his upcoming movie, which I'm definitely gonna watch. Don't Look Up, all-star cast, but he's executive producing the Lakers show that's gonna be on HBO, and that sort of hits all cylinders for me. You know, like
your bread and butter.
he's gonna be talking about the 1980s Lakers, the Showtime Lakers, the biggest cultural thing happening in the NBA at that time, right?
Right.
And I think it's gonna be great. I don't know who's. I think he's like the head showrunner, which is key because he's gonna have a lot of insight
Yeah.
or creative
Input.
to the show. I'm super excited for that show. And Don't Look Up, obviously, I'm excited for that. It's gonna come out this year. I do think he's gonna, and he loves basketball, which I'm learning. So I'm loving this guy even more and more as the days go by.
I hate him.
Yeah, there's so many things that he could do. I'm wondering what road he goes down. Don't make, if you sign up to make a Marvel movie, make Silver Surfer, and make it good.
Right. He would.
He better. Ivan,
Yeah.
let's play the rest. Adam Mckay.
Oh. Dum.
What's that?
It's the holy water.
Okay.
Um,
Is that the sand?
yeah. I don't know. Horrible sound effects.
There you go, Adam Mckay. Thank you for
We
your
buried you.
contribution. We'll revisit you when you come out with Don't Look Up. Oh no! He's back. Oh. All right, Evan. It's time for a section we like to call.
Things and such.
I don't know. Let me just say a couple things. I watched one movie worth mentioning. I watched Boogie Nights.
Okay.
Have you ever seen it?
Seen like half of it, but I got tired.
It was pretty long.
Yeah.
Super interesting. Before going into it, I heard that it was that he was compared to Quentin Tarantino style movies. So I think it sort of affected how I watched it.
Yeah.
Saying that, I liked the movie, but it had my mind racing about like why he made it. It seems such like an oddball movie to make, but it was a good movie. I liked it.
From
Hopefully
what I
we'll talk
saw,
about it
It
one day.
felt like high end. Like his movies feel premium always,
Yeah.
but they're long.
Yeah, it was super long. I was like 2 hours in, and then it was picking up. I was like, dang, barely. I don't know what else I've watched. Let's
Black
see.
Widow.
Oh yeah, I watched Black Widow.
I watched it.
You did?
Yeah. Legally.
Oh, okay. Black Widow. The first film in the next phase of the.
Is it?
I'm asking.
Oh.
I was gonna add a question mark at the end.
Oh. I cut it off.
Yeah.
No question mark. No.
You don't think it is?
It's just like, I mean,
It should be, right? It's not like a standalone.
no. I mean, I guess it is, but it's more like, I don't know, just a spin-off that also adds a little bit to what they're going to do next. A part of what they're going to do next.
Right.
Because have you seen Captain and the Winter Soldier?
Yes.
Have you seen, I guess that's it. You remember the end credits when that lady showed
Yes.
up? She's making a team.
Well, this.
Evil Avengers.
Let's take a short break and we'll get right back to this.
Okay.
The fact. Okay. How should I process this? I think this is my issue with Marvel now.
Oh, no.
And I think I've said this before. The fact that when we're talking about Black Widow, the first thing, and obviously I think the most important thing for you, is the end credit.
Look, hold on. I know you're gonna call me sexist,
No.
and I am.
Oh,
I'll
Okay.
just say that right now.
here we are.
I.
That's the thing, you know? Like, that's literally the issue.
But yes, that is an issue. But they didn't have to make it an issue, just because I really. I don't know. I'm trying to make it so I don't come off as sexist, but I think no matter how I say it, it can be interpreted as sexist. But I don't really care about Black Widow's origin because I can pretty much assume her origin already, which is like she was like they kind of told us she was part of a bad agency that made her assassinate good people or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I was pretty okay with learning that because it made her mysterious. And this is kind of like the issue with the Han Solo movie where, like, have you seen it?
Yep.
Like, he had a mysterious background and he was super cool, but when you watch the movie, like, all of his super cool feats are from, like, one day.
Yep.
And that kind of made him seem kind of like a loser by the end of the movie.
That's true.
And, I mean, she wasn't a loser by the end of this movie, but the mystery is what makes it so cool. If they just left her as like this mysterious Black Widow person, I think it would have been cooler. But she has earned a movie for doing all this. Like, that's its own thing. Like, you can't get away from that.
That's definitely not sexist, though, what you just said.
I know, but dummies would interpret it as like, you just don't want to see a woman lead. I'm like, no. But I could see someone just ignore everything what I've said and say, like, you just don't want to see a woman.
Right. No, yeah, I understand that. That is something people would say nowadays. But I think if you want to point fingers at anyone, it's like, I think the Black Widow character, how they've shown it in the cinematic universe thus far, is extremely, like, flawed and boring.
True. I mean, she's kind of a product of, like, everyone else got too strong too fast, and she has no way to scale that fast.
Right.
You know? Like, same thing with Hawkeye. Like, I'm sure it's going to be a good show, but they're just too weak from, like, Iron Man being almost like a god.
Yeah.
With his armor. Hulk's, he can be a god. Thor's a god.
Yeah.
Like, all of them are just insanely strong because movies just have to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Right.
Just how it is. But Black Widow's stuck in being a normal human with super good, like, reflexes and fighting skills. And there's only so much you can grow from that.
But on top of that, it's not even only the power dynamic that's bad with the character. Because I'm more interested in how Jeremy Strong is going to do in... what's the character's name? Sorry. Arrow?
It's not Jeremy Strong.
It's not Jeremy Strong?
I think that's the Succession guy.
Did I really do that?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Jeremy Renner.
Jeremy Renner. Sorry, Strong. Sorry, Renner. Jeremy Renner. What's the superhero's name? Sorry.
Hawkeye?
Hawkeye.
Come
I'm
on.
excited to see Jeremy Renner's rendition of a show of Hawkeye because I do think there's more layers.
Yes.
Not power-wise, but character-wise.
Yeah.
To Hawkeye. I know, it's bad. Because how Scarlett Johansson plays Black Widow is so bland.
Yeah.
There's literally, like, the only time I was interested in her was in Endgame, and that's because she started having, like, she was the leader at a point.
Yeah.
And you can see she had emotions towards Hulk and, like, other characters, like Jeremy Strong's character, the Hawkeye. I think if they would have done that earlier, I would have been more excited. Plus the fact that this movie, it's sandwiched right after Civil War, even though we've already passed that, like, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
It's like they're retreading to tell an origin story about this character who was poorly developed in the first place.
Yeah.
I think it's very hard, and I think this movie did as best as it could, though.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't like the villain. He felt like too much of a villain.
Yeah,
Like, these women, they're resources.
and
It's like, come on.
he's
No one
very
got
like James Bond villain.
Yeah,
type.
I guess that was the point, but it's too late for that. You know, like we've evolved past James Bond villains. We need villains with real motivations.
Right.
Just you can't do it anymore.
What'd you think about Florence Pugh being
She's cool.
her role in the movie?
It's basically her origin story.
Yeah.
So now they don't have to tread those waters. Like
Yep.
we already got her.
Maybe that's sort of that was the main thing they wanted to do.
Get her character out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they probably like, oh, we sort of messed up with Scarlett. Let's redo it. But hey, let's tell Scarlett it's her movie.
Oh God.
You know?
Oh God.
I mean, I'm sure she doesn't mind because she probably made a big check on this. But
yeah. She's good. I like her though. She's good.
She's good. A lot of character.
Yeah.
Like you can tell they had her way more developed than Scarlett did when you first were introduced.
A better actor, honestly, than Scarlett. At least with what she was given.
Yeah.
She like cries in this movie, and you're like, oh,
yeah,
I relate. I feel it.
What's the Russian superhero's name? I forget.
Oh, like Red. I got.
What's his character too? Like, I mean, what's his real name in real life? Do you know?
David Harbour.
David Harbour. I love him in this movie.
Yeah, he's good.
He has that cheesy Russian accent. I don't give a boo. It's so funny. He adds so much to this movie. I love it.
He's good.
And his little dynamic of hating Captain America, always interested in Captain America. That's so
like,
good.
Did he talk about me?
Yeah.
I think that was the best part. Is like he's still thinking about him.
Oh man. Yeah. I feel scared. I'm definitely scared for Marvel movies. Like, I know I'm not gonna like Shang-Chi.
You're racist.
I know I'm not gonna like it.
I
shouldn't say that. I know, not that I'm not gonna like it. I am not. My level of excitement is never gonna go past.
I think it's because we want Iron Man. We want Thor.
Do
want
I?
Hulk.
I don't even know if I'll be excited for Iron Man.
But you wanted Iron Man 2 when it was coming out. I'm saying, like, people want the big hitters no matter what. Like, you'll like the Iron Lad or whatever, but you'll love Iron Man.
How
know
about
what I mean?
this? I know what you're trying to say, and I sort of agree. Because when Black Panther came out, I didn't want to watch it because I'm like, he's black. No, just kidding. Because I thought he was just like a middle of the road character.
Yeah.
But then when reviews came out saying that it was a really good movie, then I wanted to watch this.
So you're
movie.
a sheep.
Sure. But Shang-Chi, I know it's not going to be a really good movie. You cannot tell me that it's going to be on par with Black Panther. It's going to be a 7 as straight as a 7 is. It's a 7.
Possible. I just hope. My fear from the trailer is that the main character is going to be a little lifeless, because I felt like he didn't show too much character in the trailer. But it's also a trailer. Like, I'll wait until it's out, I guess. But I mean, I'm not too excited for it, but I'll watch it because it's Marvel, and I think that's what they're banking on.
That's the funny part, because I was debating what movie to watch last Friday. Either I was going to watch Black Widow, I was going to watch Zola, which is a A24 film about 2 strippers, or I was going to watch Questlove's documentary about a concert of the 1970s. That one I heard is really good. It won an Academy Award. And I was like, I should have watched that, but I'm going to watch Black Widow. It's such a vicious game.
But I like it. And, like, I don't care. Like,
I do care because I want to watch good movies.
you can watch it all.
But why do I even watch Black Widow? Like, I literally gained nothing.
It's all set up though. And look. It's set up, but we just came out of Endgame, which was like 12 years of setup, and that was pretty satisfying. Like, I think it's okay for like another couple years of setup so we can get another like Endgame level thing.
Man. It's exhausting though.
It's a cycle. Like, it's just how it is. Like, we can't get the Endgame every year. They got to build the hype.
But can't you make a Black Panther with Black Widow? Quality-wise?
Yeah. But they also have to, like, this is the raw setup of, like, they really got
Don't give me that.
It's like phase 0.5 where they have to set up the super good foundation. And I think after that, that's when we get your 8 out of 10 Black Widow movie too.
So you're saying on the precipice of the setup, of the initial setup movies, you're
Yeah.
never going to get like a great movie.
I don't think so. Like, I mean, I guess you could, but they're sacrificing a really good setup for really good movies.
So are you telling me Eternals is not going to be a really great movie?
I think that's part of. I don't think that's part of the 0.5 phase. I think that's phase 1 where we get like good movies.
I'm super interested in that movie because of the director, supposedly the shit.
Who's the director? Is it an Asian girl?
It's an Asian lady. I think she won the Academy for something.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like, I don't know her, but those like really good artistic directors wouldn't do it unless they could do what they wanted to do. Like with Edgar Wright and Ant-Man. He's
right.
Like, I mean, and I don't know her, but I don't know.
Like
I think she would make a good movie.
What's his name? Coogler?
Yeah.
There you have to have a director that's okay with giving up some freedom.
Yeah.
Coogler did that because there's obvious parts of Black Panther that like maybe you could have even made it even better.
Mm-hmm.
And probably Edgar Wright was the type of guy that's like, no, I'd rather not do it.
Yeah.
That's a pretty... imagine doing that.
Like saying no to Disney, a
Yeah.
Marvel movie. Yeah. As an actor, I wouldn't, but as a director, like, I think Edgar Wright knows he can do whatever he wants. So, like, he doesn't care. But if, like, this lady said, like, oh, I'm not going to do it, like, halfway through, then, I don't know, maybe her career would have tanked.
Jesus.
But for an actor, like, you get a Marvel movie, you're set for life.
That's like the guys that made the popular... what's that Spider-Man animated?
Into the Spider-Verse?
Lord and...
Into the Spider-Verse?
Yeah, but...
Phil Lord and something Miller?
Yeah. So that's what they did too.
Yeah.
With Star Wars Han Solo.
They did that?
They were gonna...
okay.
They were supposed to make the movie, but they're like, no, too many rules, we're out.
Yeah.
And then Ron Howard had to step in. He's like, old reliable coming through.
Good. 7 out of 10. Always.
Imagine being that guy.
7 out of 10.
I mean, there's sort of a beauty to that too, you know?
I guess, but like, why be mediocre?
Because people like it.
It's just a little depressing.
Yeah.
I don't
Like,
know.
so you rather fail miserably?
I'd rather, yeah, or like make a movie and have it be really wild, but like it be bad, than make a safe 7 out of 10. Because I feel like, I'm going to say this, but it's obviously not easy, but I feel like it would be easy just to copy what I've seen from other movies, like scenes and shots and how they've done it, and make like just a movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, I want to make a mafia movie, and then just watch all the mafia movies, take like good stuff from that. Well, like Joker. Like Joker is not really original. Like, it's taken everything from every other movie, but on its own, it's super good.
Right.
Like I think it would be kind of easy to make a movie that's like 7 out of 10 if I just really rely on what other directors have already done.
Yeah. Yes and no. And no because
It's not easy.
yeah.
But if I knew the job of directing as like
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I directed a few years,
Yep.
and then now they're like, hey, we need a 7 out of 10. I know you know how to work a camera. I'll be like, okay, I can do it.
Yeah. I know what you mean. I agree. What else? Movies, TV, anything,
No.
music. I think Drake is gonna take another month at least.
I heard it's coming out, but I say a month too.
I wonder what he's doing.
He's waiting to tour.
Is it that?
Yeah. Has to be.
Cause like he says we're mixing right now. Like I thought it was done.
I don't know. Maybe he took the time, like, I'm waiting for a tour. Might as well redo some stuff, make it better now that I have more time. Who knows?
Side tangent, but not really. Questlove's podcast, he was talking about there's a theory that he believes in of like every 4 years music changes
Okay.
in a way. And he's saying that like it's like the BPM type of change. Like
Okay.
things like either
That's cool.
slow down or go up. And he says this is the year where we're in the year where things should change.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that he's looking at Drake
To change
specifically
it.
to change it. He's like, I'm waiting to see if Drake attempts to try to do that.
That's cool.
It was a good like. That's something you can only know from a music
Being-
scholar.
Yeah. Like
And-
seeing the patterns of doing things forever.
And it goes back to how we always talk about I'm waiting for something new. I'm just waiting for like, what if he's the one? What if Drake's the Holy Ghost?
There's like another theory similar to that, but unrelated to music. But like for generations of people, like millennials, all those things, and there's supposed to be some huge shift in like 5 years. It's called it's called like seculum or saculum, and it's basically 4 generations. So it's Gen Z, millennial, boomer, and the one before, or something like that. But the last seculum was like after World War I, and that was like when everything changed. So supposedly in like 5 years, it's like a theory, by like 2030, it's going to be the start of the next 100 years of like some huge change.
Right.
And that's what World War I was.
Right.
And obviously there's a huge change from that to today.
But the change, it's interesting because like I feel like the change is still happening. Like we're still living through a changing landscape.
Well, this could be like, I mean, change is slow for years, but
Right.
this could be like we are living through the flip right now, I think.
You're scaring me.
Just prepare.
Bunker
You have the knowledge.
bunker up.
Yeah.
Get my sardines
Make
ready.
the right investments.
I'm not doing that. Can assure you that.
Gap, perhaps.
I looked at the stock. It hasn't changed much.
He's lost his fire. I think if you release like a line, it would change a lot. But it's like one ugly sweater every 3 months. Like no one's gonna get hyped for that.
Yeah. And I think a thing he's kind of forgetting is that the thing that brought him to the show helps a lot.
Music.
Yeah. Like, you can make trash clothes if you're the zeitgeist of a vertical.
Yeah.
And that vertical is music.
Like he has to throw gasoline in the fire occasionally, and the gasoline is his music.
Yeah.
If he never puts it, it's gonna go out.
And if he puts it and it's not not like earth shattering,
Yeah.
then like
But I think he could like poop out like an earth-shattering.
He can't because what's on bipolar? What's that called? What's his second album?
Yay.
Yeah, Yay. That wasn't earth shattering,
I think
and
it
he
was,
pooped that out.
It was so unearth-shattering that it was earth-shattering. Come on, like a 7-track album plus like the 3 other albums he did with that.
But they didn't change anything. Yeezus changed everything. 808 and Heartbreaks changed everything.
But I think it's also a little too early.
No.
Yeah.
How there's nothing on that album that resonates still. That's like you don't see the ramifications.
I think it's too early.
Because with 808s, there was so much negativity to that you're like, you could obviously still see something. And then Jay-Z was coming out with his song Death to Autotune. Like, there was so much, like, hate towards that album in a way.
Right.
And then Yeezus was, like, a cultural shift because, like, oh, rap is going goth. And then Travis Scott pops out, and that pops out a bunch of other rappers. You don't see anything from Ye.
I think this is a hot take. Hot take, Ivan. It's gonna be a huge, like, the years that he's been doing this. That's the album in a way. So all 4 of those, Jesus is King, and then this next thing when he breaks out of whatever he's trapped in mentally and physically or whatever, like, it's gonna tell, oh, he's not doing it on purpose, but it's gonna tell this huge weird story of like this crazy dude losing it, but it's gonna be magical because it, like, look at it, Yee's weird, Jesus is King is weird, and then he has something. He's not doing nothing. He's still like,
he's not making music.
He has to be. I don't think he'd lose that.
He's not making music.
No. Shut up.
Well, I did hear he went to Hawaii, right?
Yeah.
And that's his, like...
He has a song with Pop Smoke coming out on Friday, but it's a feature on this album.
I'm not excited.
And Pusha T.
T?
The very one.
I don't know, man. I know your take, and the take is like we're in phase 5
of the Ye cinematic.
Like, you have to take this as a phase, not as an album. Like,
yeah,
you can't take it album per album. But maybe he's in a low point of his career. I do think he can come back.
Yeah, but you don't think he will?
I don't know. I actually don't know that.
I'm
just not. This is what it is.
Oh,
I'm not excited for the next 5 years.
Of him?
Yeah, I feel like in the next 5 years it won't happen, but maybe like 10 years down.
I mean, he definitely has like one huge one left. Like when he's 80 or whatever, like he's gonna release something disgustingly amazing.
Yeah, because he knows how to make pop rap.
Yeah.
And if he wants to, he can make 10 Gold Diggers.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to. Because he hates Gold Digger.
Yeah, but...
He hates all those songs.
But I could see him being like, you know what? I want to do it again.
Well, yeah, that's like when his brain, like...
flips. Like the poles shift again every 10 years.
And he's like, I'm back to remind everyone that I'm the greatest.
Exactly. And
10 rap songs. Okay, I'm hyping myself up.
But he can do it. I was gonna say I'm of the party where like I'll never count him out, and I think he's always gonna come back. No matter what.
I'm in that party too.
No, you're not. You're not in it enough.
I'm just not in the party that he's gonna do that soon. So I'm like turned off for the next couple years, definitely.
I can see that, but I also think he can like change like on a dime.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it could happen like next week, but it could also happen in 5 years.
Yeah. I see that too.
He's the greatest. He's the greatest to ever do it.
All right, Ivan. Anything else?
No.
Good. Everyone, this is Peliculas with the Bros. Thank you for tuning in. However you tuned in. Again, please subscribe to Peliculas with the Bros. We're on all podcast platforms. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spotify, SoundCloud. We're also on YouTube, so if you want to watch us on YouTube, if you're listening to the podcast, you're like, oh, I want to see what these guys look visually. We're on YouTube. So look at YouTube. Again, thank you for listening. We appreciate you. We'll be back next week with a brand new movie. I don't think we're going to do a miniseries. We'll do a movie, and we'll talk about that internally.
Okay.
In our corporation. We'll pass out a survey.
Uh-huh.
Fill out some registrars.
Uh-huh.
Make an executive decision.
Uh-huh.
And we'll go from there.
Uh-huh.
See you next week. Peace out.
Bye.